There are lots of notes today, guys. If you feel good about it, you should feel okay to skip some of the examples, but if you don't, make sure you watch them all. This is 1.4. I know it looks exactly the same as the other one, same icons. Technically calling this 1.4. We're going to have more practice with writing equations. So we're going to find the equation of a line that goes through a point and has a slope. I like to use the point slope formula, which I gave again below, because I have a point and I have a slope. So this is my m. I'm going to plug that in right here. My x stays. x1 is 2. Y stays. Oops. And then y1, trying to erase right now, y1 is 6. Okay, so from here you can see that the slope is 3, and a point on the line, for example, would be 2, 6. If I asked you then to write this in our mx plus b form, the one everybody likes, you could continue, you could do that. You have to distribute this 3 to both pieces. So y minus 6 equals 3x minus 6, right? 3x minus 6. Then I'd add 6 to both sides, so I'd get y equals 3x, and this would be the equation of my line in slope-intercept form. So now we have a line that has a slope of 3/5 and goes through this point. I'm going to use the same thing. Y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. Again, because I have my slope and I have a point. So I'm going to plug it in. Okay, I can leave it like this. Another way to think of this, though, guys, is that this is the y-intercept. So if I know this, technically, I know b, and I could use this one. So 2 different ways to do this. The slope here is still 3/5, but I know that y-intercept is 7. Okay, 2 different ways to do that one. This time I gave 2 points. So the first thing we need to do is find the slope. I'm going to take y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, 4 over 4, so my slope is 1. Now you can use either point. So I'll use this point, or you can use this point. Turns out that you will get the same answer if you simplify. You don't always need to simplify. If it doesn't say what form to write it in, then just leave it like this. Okay, leave it in slope, point slope. Okay, why make mistakes on algebra? If it asks you, you can continue on. But these two are equal to each other. Okay, so if I did this one, I get y minus 5 equals x minus 2, and 5, y equals x plus 3 here. Y minus 9 equals x 6. You can already see y equals x plus 3. So these are the same. Either way you do it, any of these answers are perfectly acceptable. So I'm hoping you notice something here, is that the y's are the same on both of these. Let's find our slope. I'm going to take y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1, and I get 0 over 6, which equals 0. Okay, my slope is 0. So if I'm thinking about it like this, thinking about my my point slope formula, I would put 0 here. And you would have x plus 2. Now what would happen over here is when you distribute this 0, you get nothing, right? 0 times x is 0 plus 0. So now I just have y minus 6 equals 0. We like to write equations like this. Okay, this is the equation of a line that when you graph it, if I go back 2 and up 6, I may be here. If I go over 4 and up 6 here, this is my line, y equals 6. Okay, the slope of this line is 0. If I ask you to find an equation of a line, the easiest thing to do is to look for a couple points. And so I'm going to hopefully find one that's 2 over and 0 up, I believe, and 0 over 1 down. Now this is my x-intercept and my y-intercept. Okay, those are good things to kind of think about. Could you pick other points? Yes. It's usually easier to just pick some easy points to see. You could also find the slope by counting. Okay, so I'm going to find the slope by doing the algebra. You can find it by counting. So I get 1 over 2 is my slope. And since I know the y-intercept, I'm going to use that. Y equals 1/2 x plus -1. Okay? You could also count up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2 to get the slope. All right, when you see this kind, these get tricky because you're looking at this and thinking, Mrs. Vogt, I just don't have any points, but you do, okay? You have 2 points. An x-intercept at -3 is here, so you go -3 over and 0 up. And a y-intercept here means you go 0 over and 7 up. These are points. Okay, you need to recognize these as points. When you have this, we can find the slope. So I'm going to take 7 minus 0 over 0 minus -3 to get 7 over 3 as my slope. And I know the y-intercept is my letter b, so y equals 7/3 x plus 7. The equation of a vertical line that goes through the point 9, 10. So what's a vertical line look like? Okay, vertical is up and down. So I'm going to go over 9 and up 10. So let's think about this. One way that I remember it is that if this is the x and this is the y, this is going to be an x equals equation because it goes this opposite of the x-axis. That's one way I think of it. Another way to think of it would be to find some other points on here. And if you're doing this with graph paper, it might be a little bit easier. But I know that this point is 9 over and 0 up. And I hope that you maybe notice this, that no matter what, the x value stays the same. Here we go. This is the equation. A vertical line has an undefined slope because in this case, I could take 10 minus 0 over 9 minus 9, and I cannot have 10 over 0. That doesn't work. Dividing by 0 is undefined. Okay, guys, I think that's all my slides. The last thing is just the homework assignment, and I'll get that online as well. Remember, you can do the homework assignment in class. All you need to do tonight is take the notes.